Right now on Good Morning Las Vegas, a man is dead just 5 days before Christmas after a hit-and-run crash on Las Vegas Boulevard. And a plane on its way to Henderson crashes, killing everyone on board. Good morning, Las Vegas. I'm Elizabeth Gadley. Thanks for getting up and joining us. The time now is 8 o'clock right on the dot, and you still have half of your weekend left, but only 5 more days to Christmas. So is the weather going to cooperate as you head out to try to do all of those last-minute holiday errands? Let's get started with the weather first check with Carlo Falco. Good morning, Carlo.
Good morning, Elizabeth. Check it out over top of Mount Charleston right here. Look at this. We have ourselves a little bit of a cloud deck right in there, and I actually just looked at one of the upper level profiles of the atmosphere, and it shows that there is a very thin little area right in here where the clouds are going to form. So that's basically what's going to continue throughout the rest of the day. There may even be a little bit of freezing fog as you head up in towards that area, because that's right around 8,000 to 10,000 feet where those clouds are going to form. In Las Vegas, though, nothing really going on overhead. Still clear outside, 44 degrees, nice and calm winds, gently lazily kind of moving out of the southwest about 3 miles an hour. But you can see more clouds up towards the north and west, and look how fast these clouds are pushing through California. So we're going to expect them in towards the Las Vegas Valley in the next couple hours. And indeed, by about noon, we're going to see those clouds overhead pretty thick as well. So by the time we get to the mid-afternoon, pretty cloudy overhead too. It's not seeing much by way of any sunshine from about 2 o'clock onwards. Temperatures into the mid-50s today, a little bit warmer coming next week. I'll talk temperatures coming up in weather first. Elizabeth.
Thanks, Carlo. A man is dead this morning and another is behind bars after a hit and run in North Las Vegas. This happened near Las Vegas Boulevard in Civic Center Drive around 9 p.m. Police say a 24-year-old man driving a moped was killed after a vehicle crashed into him. Witnesses say the 35-year-old driver of the vehicle ended up fleeing the scene, but cops were able to find him and he's now in custody. Police do believe both speed and alcohol were factors in this crash.
Everyone is in a rush for the holiday. This is a good reminder for all of us to just slow down and remember what's important. Think about your family, your friends.
Southbound lanes of Las Vegas Boulevard were closed for the investigation, but they've since reopened. Now to a developing story. This morning, police have very few leads as they continue to investigate the murder of a man who was shot near downtown. We first broke this story on Good Morning Las Vegas yesterday morning. It happened around 7 a.m. Several people called police to 10th and Wilson after hearing one very loud gunshot. When officers got there, they found a man lying face down with a gunshot wound to the back of his head. According to family members, the victim is a 38-year-old father of 5. They say he does not live in the area, and they don't know what he was doing there. Multiple people told police they saw an older gray pickup leaving the scene. That's the only lead they have right now. If you know anything, call Metro. An update to a story we first brought you is breaking news. A single-engine plane heading to Henderson went down in a rural area southwest of Bakersfield, California yesterday afternoon. There is no word on how many passengers were on board, but officials tell us there are no survivors. Just after 4 p.m. yesterday, officials got reports of a plane making a distress call. Area residents say they heard a plane revving its engine loudly as it flew overhead and knew something was wrong. Bakersfield Police, the fire department, and the sheriff's office helped with the search that lasted several hours. This morning, they're still working to find all of the debris. We're told the FAA will be out at 8 o'clock in the morning to continue the investigation. So that's right about now. An Action News update this morning. We now know the name of the motorcycle rider who died after an alleged drunk driver hit and killed him near Elkhorn and Red Cinder. It happened Friday night. Police say the victim is 21-year-old Brandon Michael DeGrella from Las Vegas. DeGrella's motorcycle slammed into the pickup when the driver made a left-hand turn in front of him, cutting him off. This is the 119th fatal accident in Metro's jurisdiction this year. The driver, 49-year-old Eric Provençal, is being charged with felony DUI involving death. This morning, fire crews are looking into what led to a house fire in the southwest part of the valley. The Clark County Fire Department says the flames broke out around 9:30 last night. They could see smoke and flames coming from the home when they got to the scene. They were able to quickly put the blaze out, and luckily there are no injuries to report. No word on how much damage this caused. Breaking overnight, an Air France flight headed to Paris has made an emergency landing in Kenya. A suspected bomb was found on board, but officials are now calling it a false alarm. Hundreds of passengers were evacuated shortly after midnight. They were taken to a nearby hotel where several of them were questioned. The scare comes as aviation officials are still on edge after ISIS claimed credit for bombing a Russian flight in October.
these third world airports continue to be attractive to terrorists because it's much easier to get a bomb or get a device through security at a third world airport, at a smaller airport, than it is at, say, a larger aircraft like Paris or in New York.
There's no word on when the passengers will continue their journey back to Paris. In your Red, White, and Blue 2016 political coverage, a spirited Democratic debate with attacks, laughs, and even a candidate-to-candidate apology. ABC's Lana Zach is at St. Anselm College in New Hampshire with details.
It started with an apology.
Yes, I apologize.
Secretary Clinton, do you accept?
Bernie Sanders pledging to fire anyone involved in the data breach. 2 more staffers were suspended overnight.
And I hope we can work together on an independent investigation.
And in more than 2 hours, the candidates sparred on regime change, ISIS, and guns.
ISIL training videos are telling lone wolves the easiest way to buy a combat assault weapon in America is at a gun show, and it's because of the flip-flopping political approach of Washington that both of my 2 colleagues on this stage have represented there for the last 40 years. We need common sense.
Let's calm down a little bit, Martin.
Yeah, let's tell the truth, Martin.
Martin O'Malley polling at just 5%, according to the latest ABC News national poll, came out of the gate swinging, while Clinton, polling at 59%, briefly went missing after a commercial break.
Sorry.
All 3 candidates were lively.
Now this is getting to be fun.
This is fun.
But did the debate change the election?
What do Martin O'Malley or Bernie Sanders need to do to actually change the dynamics?
They got to hope for an unforced error by Hillary Clinton. That's one thing I think she didn't want to do tonight.
Clinton ending the night on this note.
Thank you, good night, and may the force be with you.
And that Star Wars reference was the most tweeted moment of the debate. Hillary Clinton's staff tell us it was entirely unscripted. Lana Zach, ABC News, Manchester.
Coming up on Good Morning Las Vegas, we're learning new information about an officer-involved shooting at an emergency room in Los Angeles. We now know why that officer was forced to open fire. Plus, take a look at these flames alongside a freeway. The inferno actually proved to be deadly. We'll tell you what happened.
Clear skies over top of Las Vegas right now. More clouds are headed our direction. They will be pretty thick, but will they bring rain? I'll have details coming up in weather first.
Parts of Northern California may not see a white Christmas, but they are getting a burst of winter weather this weekend. Snow started falling in Sacramento Friday night and continued throughout yesterday. The frozen roadways made driving difficult for some commuters. State authorities warned semi-trucks to stay away from parts of Interstate 80 because of ice and snow.
Yeah, there's some serious snow falling in towards Central California, especially the higher elevations. Up above 2,000 feet, that's where they're seeing the snow, and up above, 6,000 to 7,000 feet, they're expecting upwards of a foot to maybe even a foot and a half of snow. Thankfully, in Las Vegas, this is what it looks like right now, and there's not even any snow at the higher elevations of Red Rock Canyon, so not expecting anything to really be falling out of the sky for today. Waking up in Boulder City, good morning to you. 43 degrees, nice and sunny, but that wind out of the east about 5 miles an hour makes it feel a couple degrees cooler, down to 40 degrees. That's what it feels like out there. Right now across the valley, generally into the low to mid 40s, 44 at McCarran Airport, 42 down towards Anthem, and 42 degrees matched at Centennial Hills up towards the north and west of the valley. For the rest of the day, we're basically going to be warming things up. We're going to be getting up to about 45 by 9 a.m., but we will start to see some more clouds start to filter in overhead. The thicker clouds will really get to the valley by about noon and continue to thicken up as we go throughout the rest of the afternoon. The thickest clouds really getting overhead right around 2 to 3 p.m., which is right when our high temperature of 56 degrees will be there. So Desert Doppler does show we do have one low pressure system moving out towards the south and east. That was the storm that gave us our little bit of rain last night, and our next system is pushing in from the north and west. It has a lot of moisture with it, which is getting in towards the Central Valley up towards Northern California north of Sacramento, but that's not going to make it towards Las Vegas. It's really going to get wrung out by the mountains out to the west in the Sierra in California, but we will get a lot of cloud cover as we move in towards the middle of today. Then looking further to the west, it's just lined up. There's 3 or 4 storms just in the middle of this strip of clouds in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. These are going to continue to push towards the west coast of the U.S., but they mostly miss Las Vegas. This is what I mean. Cool conditions for Las Vegas right now, but as we get in towards this afternoon and into Monday, really the high clouds are going to stick around. That storm track is way up to the north on the northern Nevada border with Idaho, Oregon, and really California. That's where most of the storms are going to track, so most of the moisture is going to be up there, and we're just going to be dealing with those high-level clouds throughout the rest of the week, pretty much all the way until Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday as well. For today, those high clouds will be dominant, especially in the afternoon. It will cap our temperatures right around 56 degrees or so. Las Vegas, of course, will hit 56 degrees with those clouds basically around throughout the rest of the afternoon, and we'll be staying dry with southwest winds about 5 to 15 miles an hour. We keep the temperature pretty consistent into Monday. High temperature of 56 degrees, warming things up to start off winter, ironically, up to 60 degrees on Tuesday, and then we're back down into the mid to upper 50s for Wednesday, Thursday. Christmas Eve and Christmas, of course, Thursday, Friday. Looks like another pretty strong storm rolls in. Temperatures drop towards about 50 degrees on Friday.
I know, how fun that winter, the first day of winter, is the warmest day of our week.
Yeah, it will be pretty cool. It's going to be a pretty complex forecast for them, so you're going to want to stick around. Of course, Carla's got her forecast tonight, and then Greg and Brian are going to be there all week, so we got you covered.
Thank you. And time now for a look at your Problem Solver traffic. Here's Micah Manalo.
Good Sunday morning to you at home. I'm Mike Manalo with a look at your Problem Solver traffic drive. I want to inform you about a closure tonight over at the airport connector. Again, we have that big work in terms of adding those new ramps to transition over to the 215. So with this one, southbound ramp to 215 east will close tonight from 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. Same for 215 eastbound to northbound airport connector. The other directions will be open, and you can always use Tropicana or even Russell to get you there. It's also going to happen Monday night, which I will inform you again about on Good Morning Las Vegas, beginning at 4:30 in the morning. Follow me at Micah Traffic Guy for all these details and more.
Developing out of Southern California, a police officer shoots and kills a man in a hospital emergency room. Police say the 26-year-old suspect picked up the stool and reached for an officer's gun as police tried to transport him to jail yesterday afternoon. He was pronounced dead on the scene at Harbor UCLA Medical Center. Police say the man was first taken to the emergency room after an altercation with 2 officers earlier in the day. A busy shopping day turned terrifying after a gunman opened fire inside a Wisconsin mall yesterday. This happened at the East Town Mall in Madison. Police say a fight involving around 10 people broke out in the center court of the mall.
My wife and I were inside, and I saw a flood of customers, women, children just running towards the back.
Cops are still looking for that gunman this morning. Officials say an employee at one of the kiosks near the shooting scene was grazed by a bullet, but he's expected to be okay. A number of people were detained, but no one was arrested. Police still looking for the suspect. An explosive truck fire sent flames shooting through the air along a Dallas, Texas freeway. A racetrack gasoline tanker crashed and burst into flames, killing the driver. The blast sent burning fuel running down both sides of the freeway and into the median. The fuel truck was the only vehicle involved in the deadly crash. Portions of the freeway were closed as crews worked to clean up and investigate. There's no word on what caused the accident. When Good Morning Las Vegas returns, there's still time to help fill fire trucks with toys for local kids, but not much. Next, we're joined by a firefighter with this year's Fill the Fire Truck Toy Drive. You're watching Channel 13 Action News. We'll be right back on this Sunday morning.
Mood lighting. I said, all right, mood lighting.
Can I just do a mic check? Just count down from 10 real quick.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Welcome back. Our local firefighters need your help filling up their fire trucks with toys for local children in need. And today is the last day. It's part of the 13th annual Fill the Fire Truck Toy Drive. Joining me is Warren Whitney. He's president of the Firefighters of Southern Nevada Burn Foundation. Welcome.
Welcome. Thank you.
So today is the last day of the toy drive.
Yeah.
How are you guys doing so far?
We're scrambling. You know, it's this year we've only had 3 weekends before Christmas, where most of the times we have 4 weekends. So we've had an extra day Fridays, and that's helped somewhat. But we are definitely scrambling. So if anyone's watching today, please, if you have time, stop by one of our 5 locations on, let's see, there's Royal Crossing, West Tropical Parkway, North Decatur, North Nellis, and also Mark Street in Henderson. So we'll take anything, you know, gift cards, small monetary donations, because we change those into toys or gift cards. And so it's been going good, though. It's been going good.
Good. Okay, so you say you'll take anything, but are there any specific sort of toys or items that you really need?
No, right now I haven't heard of any gaps, but like I said, if we get any monetary donations, when we have a gap, like let's say it's girls 3 to 7, we'll walk right back in and we buy that particular age group and gender, and so we can fill the order. So usually we have it pretty locked down to where we're hurting, but this year, since everything is so condensed, we're we're just going right back in the store and buying it ourselves.
So who are the kids who benefit from this toy drive?
They're all identified or associated with local charities recognized by the state of Nevada, or they have been identified by the Clark County School District as living below the poverty line. So we have 39 organizations. Actually, it's 49 organizations. That's charities and churches, all recognized by the state of Nevada. So, but we only deal with charities. So they've identified the need, and we fill that need.
Okay, that sounds like a whole lot of kids.
Yes.
About how many kids would you say?
It's over 21,000. Our initial estimates were going to be around 26. That's come down somewhat because some of the charities have got some other help. So we are definitely over 21,000 kids, and that's up to teenagers too. So it's a lot.
And so you guys are going to be out today. You're
Yep.
collecting more toys.
Yep.
What is it like being out there, sort of collecting these toys, and how do people respond to you guys?
The people are great, and it's fun too when there's kids with them. A lot of people are doing their shopping, so they'll go and get a toy, come out. But when they have the kids, we'll have the singular wrapped candy canes, and there's a fire engine. They go check out the fire engine, and they see the toys, and it's really cool when the kid gives you the toy. Because kids usually are like, toy, I want the toy, but when they're like, here you go, and they kind of understand what's going on. So that's really neat too.
And then what about actually giving these toys? When are they actually being passed out to these needy children?
Well, tomorrow we'll distribute all of the toys. So tomorrow we sort, fill orders. They'll be given to what's left of the charities. And they have their own Christmas parties or get-togethers and stuff like that. We visit some of those. So that's pretty neat because it's usually a really big group. When we did the schools, we actually had Santa flown in by Mercier to one of our schools, and the kids were all lined up. They saw Santa fly in. There's fire engines everywhere, so that was really cool too, seeing Santa come in.
So once again, this is the last day. We've got a whole bunch of different locations that you can go to. There's the Nellis Boulevard. We've got Marks, Arroyo Cross Parkway, Rest Tropical, and North Decatur. They desperately need more toys. You said
toys
about
or gift card.
3/4 of the way full, and so anything you can do to help out would be appreciated.
Thank you.
Thank you
so
for
much
being
for
here.
having me.
And stick around. We'll be back with more. A less than stellar opening night for some Star Wars fans. A theater full of them pitched a fit when a projector failed right in the middle of the film Friday night.
No! No! No!
That reaction 100% does not surprise me. Eric Melendez posted this cell phone video of the moment on Facebook. He says the projector stopped during Star Wars The Force Awakens at a Hollywood theater. It then restarted but played 15 to 20 minutes ahead of where they left off. Most people thought they were about to see the ending of the movie and missed the plot developments, according to Melendez. He says he got a full refund and voucher to come back. The movie is packing theaters across the nation and is heading towards a record-breaking weekend take of $220 million. Still ahead this morning, gas prices keep dropping, which is good news for our wallets. But how much more are Nevadans paying compared to the rest of the country? And the Las Vegas Bowl is in the books, and it was a good one. We'll have highlights from the big game up next. Right now on Good Morning Las Vegas, less than 24 hours after another murder in the Valley, a community is coming together to march for peace. Good morning, Las Vegas. I'm Elizabeth Gadley. If you're just joining us, welcome. If you've stuck around, thank you for staying. The time now is 8:30, right on the dot. Let's get it started with the weather first check with Carlo Falco. Good morning, Carlo.
Good morning, Elizabeth, and good morning to you. We have a beautiful morning over top of Las Vegas. Check it out. Lots of blue skies, not even any clouds to really talk about. And crucially, remember that smog I was talking about yesterday? It is all gone. We had a little bit of wind last night. That pushed all the smog out towards the north and east. And we also had a little bit of rain to basically precipitate it out of the air. And we're talking about temperatures in the mid-40s for right now. 44 in Las Vegas, 45 in Mesquite, 50 degrees in Laughlin, and down to the lower 40s for Henderson, Pahrump, and Boulder City. Your desert Doppler showing we do have some snow showers out towards Flagstaff. These are quickly exiting out towards the east and leaving Las Vegas nice and clear. The downside to it out to the west. Look at these clouds out into central portions of California. These are going to continue to stretch our direction, even giving a little bit of snow showers up towards the Reno area. Thankfully, the snow is not going to make it to Las Vegas. Neither is that rain. So we're just going to be dealing with a lot of cloud cover basically from noon onwards. We're going to be up to about 53 degrees by noon, 56 by about 2 o'clock or so, and then 3 p.m. lots of clouds, 54 degrees, clearing things out by the overnight hours. We'll talk about those temperatures overnight and have your Christmas forecast coming up in Weather First. Elizabeth.
Thanks, Carlo. Dozens gathered on the city's north side to march for peace and unity. The march began yesterday at the Andre Agassi Boys and Girls Club and continued north down MLK. Protesters shouted, "Stop the violence and all lives matter." There have been more than 100 murders in Metro's jurisdiction this year. Organizers of the rally say they chose a neighborhood that's in serious need of motivation, so they chose the city's northeast side. This comes on the heels of yesterday morning's homicide on 10th and Wilson and the triple homicide a few weeks ago on Jackson Avenue. The march ended with a vigil in honor of the lives lost to gun violence in Las Vegas this year.
This time of the year is Christmas, and a lot of people are bereaving already because of the loss of loved ones. So we decided to, bring this event together, let the community know that we support them, let them know that we understand what they're going through.
37-year-old Morty Young was one of the men killed by gun violence this year. His funeral was yesterday, which is why leaders chose to hold the vigil then. The Nevada Department of Corrections is reporting that an inmate has died in the Northern Nevada Corrections Center's medical facility in Carson City. Inmate Anthony Daniels was serving 24 to 72 months for coercion. Authorities say an autopsy is scheduled to determine the exact cause of death. An Action News update this morning. The path is now clear for Faraday Future to move into North Las Vegas. We were the only local station in Carson City when Governor Sandoval signed the bills that sealed the deal for the billion-dollar electric car factory. Action News reporter Brian Callahan has reaction from Mayor John Lee and the lawmakers in Carson City.
It was about a year and a half ago that the same legislature passed the bills allowing Tesla to build their battery factory outside of Reno. Now the same legislature this week cleared the way for a similar project in southern Nevada.
Our work is done.
That signature sealed the governor's deal with Faraday Future. This after lawmakers spent 4 days in special session clearing the way for the electric car maker's billion-dollar factory.
Reward does not come without risk, and I know this is going to be a great reward for the company.
It took 4 bills to clear the way. That involved water issues at the Apex site in North Las Vegas, as well as helping set up the work training programs for the company. They also had to approve $215 million in tax incentives, plus bonds for infrastructure that local lawmakers say is critical to attracting more companies.
I think it's going to be a huge opportunity. That Apex place is just going to take off, and that whole project is just going to be a huge boon to southern Nevada and hopefully the whole state.
The factory is expected to create 4,500 jobs itself. Senator Pat Spearman says the number can be increased if the state can capitalize on the materials Faraday and Tesla will need to power their electric cars.
We'll have 2 electric car companies here. I think that it's also time for us to act on our opportunities for lithium and processing and developing those mines, because what do electric car companies have in common? Lithium batteries.
North Las Vegas leaders who have been pushing the project as a way to help the struggling city say they're going to get to work right away.
The permits, all of the other things that take place to start a project are now being handled as of tomorrow morning.
Governor Sandoval saying he called this special session before Christmas because Faraday Future wants to break ground on the project next month. The company is also expected to unveil a product at CES in January. Reporting in Carson City, Brian Callahan, Channel 13 Action News.
According to the latest travel survey from AAA Nevada, more than 7.4 million Nevadans plan to travel for the Christmas and New Year's holidays. That's an overall increase of 1% compared to 2014. Nationally, AAA projects more than 100 million people will travel 50 miles or more during the holiday. Las Vegas is also one of the top New Year's Eve destination spots in the country. Great news for those traveling by car. For the first time since 2009, the national average price for a regular gallon of gas has dropped below $2. Nearly 2/3 of gas stations are selling gasoline for $1.99 or less. Experts say this is all due to a recent decline in crude oil prices. Here in Las Vegas, though, we're sitting a bit higher, paying an average of $2.53 a gallon. A consumer alert about secret campus credit card contracts. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau just sent out warning letters to 17 colleges. They're directing the schools to publicly announce all school-sponsored credit card agreements as required by law. The Bureau releases an annual report on college credit card agreements between colleges and the financial institutions. The aim is to protect students when it comes to the growing market of school-sponsored debit and prepaid cards. A major settlement for anyone holding a Radio Shack gift card. Nevada's Attorney General says cardholders can now file claims to recover the balance on those cards. The claim process is part of a settlement approved by a bankruptcy judge. Back in February, Radio Shack filed for Chapter 11 reorganization after not turning a profit since 2011. Under the court's order, claims for unredeemed cards will be treated with priority status. Sam Boyd Stadium was packed with football fans for the Las Vegas Bowl, and the game didn't disappoint. The Utah Utes earned their second straight Las Vegas Bowl trophy yesterday with a 35-28 victory over their rival, the BYU Cougars. The game looked like it was going to be a blowout as Utah took a 35-0 lead in the first quarter, but the Cougars battled through, making it a pretty good game towards the end. And a little warning for traffic. There's expected to be a lot of people heading northbound on the I-15 towards Utah this morning, so be prepared for delays. And we turn from the field to the court. The UNLV Runnin' Rebels faced the 13th ranked Arizona Wildcats in Tucson yesterday. This was one of the Rebs' tougher opponents. The Wildcats pulled away with an 82-70 win. UNLV is back at the Thomas & Mack Tuesday to face South Dakota. Coming up on Good Morning Las Vegas, Republican presidential candidate Jeb Bush isn't hiding what he thinks about frontrunner Donald Trump. We'll show you what he called Trump at a rally. Plus, some local firefighters giving back this holiday season by helping a family who lost everything. This touching story is next. The first day of winter isn't quite here, but in Buffalo, New York, all the signs of winter are present. The area has seen heavy snowfall this weekend. Accumulations in some areas could total nearly 1.5 feet. Wind gusts up to 35 miles per hour also made life miserable for residents.
Well, the snow has pretty much ended in Buffalo right now, but that was that first instance of the lake effect snow machine really starting to crank itself up. And it's notable that it's, December 19th, because normally they see their first lake effect snow event in the middle of November. In fact, the latest snowfall total that they've seen was December 3rd. And 19th, that beats a 116-year record, because those records go all the way back to 1899. So yeah, it's a very, very long time for them to see no snow all the way up to this point. In Las Vegas, a little bit different. We usually don't see any snow whatsoever, and in fact, in North Las Vegas, if there was any snow on the ground, yeah, it would be melting very quickly. You're at 42 degrees right now, calm winds and sunny skies, and all of that together would mean that anything that was frozen on the ground will be melting very, very quickly, except if it's underneath some sort of tree or in the shade or anything. Temperatures right now, the freezing areas are relegated to Alamo and Tonopah, up around 32 and 30 degrees respectively, 41 in Indian Springs and 46 degrees for Henderson, 44 in Las Vegas. Throughout the rest of the day, we're going to continue to see these temperatures warm up, and we're going to see more cloud cover, especially about noon onwards, and some very thick cloud cover by the time we get to about 3 o'clock. The good news is this cloud cover is going to be very high level, so we're going to be seeing cloud bases right around that 20 to 30,000 foot mark, which means it won't be rainy by any stretch of the imagination. It'll actually be very dry underneath it. Here's that low pressure system moving out towards Flagstaff right now. This is the system that gave us a little bit of rain last night. And looking to the west, we really have a lot of clear skies, basically from Vegas out towards about Yosemite National Park, which is right around in this area. But you can't see out to the west further. There's even more cloud cover headed our way. These are those high level clouds and a lot of moisture at the lower levels. That moisture is going to get wrung out by the mountains, but really look at this huge amount of moisture in towards central and northern California, some very heavy snow for the Trinity Mountains up towards the north and extreme northern California. That means that temperatures today are mainly going to be in the 50s with some pretty thick cloud cover as you go through the afternoon, but we're looking further out to the west because look at this, a huge amount of clouds all the way across the middle of the Pacific Ocean, and that really sets the stage for the next set of weather which is coming our direction. So we are going to stay cool and we are going to stay dry, but look at all of these low pressure systems which are just going to miss us up towards the north with a lot of rain headed towards the Pacific Northwest. What that means for us is that, well, it's going to be a lot of clouds for Las Vegas. We're going to keep temperatures into the mid and upper 50s with a couple areas hitting about 60 degrees, especially on Tuesday, before a much stronger storm system rolls in for Thursday and Friday, and we'll drop temperatures down to about 50 degrees on Christmas.
So are you ready for Christmas?
I think so.
Oh, good.
I think so, yeah. I just got to wrap a couple things and buy a couple things. And
so not quite ready for Christmas.
Almost ready for Christmas.
Okay, thank you. And this just into our newsroom. Reuters is reporting the new Star Wars movie has raked in a record $238 million in the U.S. and Canada this weekend. That shatters the previous record set by Jurassic Park, which made over $208 million back in June. Globally, weekend ticket sales are estimated at $517 million. Now for a story that's positively Las Vegas. Firefighters delivered Christmas presents to a family that lost nearly everything in a house fire shortly after Thanksgiving. Operation Fire Heat and firefighters that fought that fire stopped by the family's new home to make sure their children have a great Christmas. The family has children ages 18, 15, and 7. The fire happened in a home on La Palma Parkway near Jones in the 95. Everyone was able to get out okay, but the house was a total loss. The family says they're extremely grateful for all the support.
It's completely overwhelming. They've done so much. I mean, the firemen there that night helped us, and now they're helping us again. I'm so thankful for everything that they've done. I'm so appreciative.
The family got the basic necessities right after the fire, also from Operation Fire Heat. Two families in serious need got Christmas a little early. Walker Furniture, Star Nursery, and the Las Vegas Rescue Mission sponsored deliveries of a house full of furniture, toys, and a live Christmas tree for both struggling families. Action News anchor Jackie Heinrich has details.
For Diana and William Connett, life has not been easy. After moving from Ohio, the mother of 3 was diagnosed with stomach cancer, living in pain every day. That was hard enough until it got worse. William had a maintenance job in exchange for housing that was making ends meet until new management took over, leaving his family out of a home and out of work. Compounding that, he's had a tough time getting a new job because of Diana's daily physical therapy appointments.
we weren't going to have anything for Christmas.
But the Home for the Holidays program changed all of that. A whole house of furniture, toys for the kids, even a Christmas tree.
It's something we never would have imagined for us. It's way beyond what we would have ever expected that we could have gotten in 2 lifetimes.
For LaDoris Johnson, it was the same story, different circumstances.
This means everything.
Life seemed to keep knocking her down after moving to Las Vegas last February. A single mother with a 2-year-old daughter and now 5 months pregnant with her second child. Although she works 2 jobs, she's struggled with no car and no furnishings in her apartment, always putting her daughter's needs first. But with Home for the Holidays, all that is now behind her.
You know, it's one thing to hear about it and to kind of anticipate. I don't think you can ever kind of prepare yourself for the feeling that I had. It was just truly a blessing.
Jackie Heinrich, Channel 13, Action News.
In this morning's red, white, and blue political coverage, Jeb Bush on the campaign trail in New Hampshire this weekend. The Republican presidential candidate hosted a town hall meeting in Kentucky, New Hampshire yesterday. Bush, taking a page from his playbook for the CNN GOP debate here in Las Vegas earlier this week, took aim at opponent Donald Trump.
I got to get this off my chest. Donald Trump is a jerk. You cannot insult your way to the presidency. You can't disparage women, Hispanics, disabled people. Who is he kidding?
Well, the insults could end up working for Trump. He's leading the pack of GOP nominee hopefuls with 39% of support, according to a new Fox News poll released Friday. Investigators in Pearland, Texas are searching for 3 people who broke into a home, then ran away when the homeowner confronted them. Surveillance video shows a man walking inside and straight into the master bedroom. After rummaging around for a little while, the robber called his friend. Not long after the second man was dropped off, the homeowner woke up and ran into the living room.
I see two males, and I said, hey, and they said, oh, shoot, and then they ran, and they opened this door, they slam it open, and there's a black chair out here, which they used to climb on, and they jumped the fence, and that's when they ran.
The thieves didn't end up getting away with any of the homeowner's belongings. Still ahead on Good Morning Las Vegas, there's finally something to use that ugly sweater for other than a party. We'll hear from some runners who took part in the ugly sweater run. You're watching Channel 13 Action News. Carla will have a final check of your Sunday forecast right after this break.
Well, we do have clear skies over Las Vegas right now, but if you look up towards San Francisco on the top left of your screen, you can see there's a lot more moisture headed our direction. The good news is for you dry weather lovers that basically all we're going to see is a lot of cloud cover, and the rain stays up towards the north and west. Temperature-wise, we're not going to be warm, but we won't really be cold either. We're going to be dead on normal for this time of year. How about 56 degrees for Las Vegas, upper 50s down towards Laughlin. Hour by hour, we're going to be warming into the 50s by noon, but that's when those higher level clouds really start to solidify themselves over Las Vegas. Thicker clouds through the afternoon with your high temperature right around 2 o'clock or so. Your 7-day forecast keeping things pretty tepid throughout the rest of the week. 56 on Monday, a little warmer on Tuesday at 60 degrees, but then we're cooling things off for Wednesday and Thursday, getting in towards Christmas. We have another system rolling our direction. 50 degrees for your high temperature on Christmas, which is definitely sweater weather.
Speaking of sweater weather, dozens of runners dusted off their ugliest attire and headed out for some holiday-themed exercise. The Ugly Sweater Run was held in Atlanta's Piedmont Park yesterday. From tutus to onesies, folks proudly displayed their Christmas worst. Listen as one couple describes running in the hideous attire.
Hot.
I had to strip halfway through. It was
Very
pretty rough.
hot.
That and we're unconditioned for this, so it was pretty tough. A lot of chest pain,
Lot of sweat.
lot of leg pain, yeah, sweating. So, but we made it.
Sounds like a blast. Baltimore, Denver, Philadelphia, and Tempe, Arizona also held ugly sweater runs yesterday. For me, when I see that, I can't help but think of all those sweaters that have like all the little bells and all like the things that just, you know, moving around and making a bunch of noise.
That would be awesome. I think what I would do is I get the ones with the lights and rig it so that my left foot this side would light up, the right foot this side would light up. Just kind of flash, 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 flash.
That does sound fun. And that's all the time we have. Thanks for joining us this morning.